Hello, everyone. I am super excited for this daily tarot reading for Friday, October 9th, 2020, because one of our beautiful subscribers here on the channel named Heather sent us a new beautiful tarot deck, and it is the Modern Witch Tarot deck, which I have been wanting for a really long time. And I never bought it because, and I don't know why. I cannot tell you why I didn't buy it. I think it was probably just a spiritual purpose of it needing to be gifted to me. I find that decks are always best when they're gifted to you. Okay. I can't lie. I'm very close to the decks that people gave to me. So anyway, this deck I've been waiting on all my life, and so I'm so happy to finally open it up. Seems like the cards are going to be kind of small. The back is really nice, kind of gives you a little depiction of some of the cards to come. Oh, look at the Ten of Swords. Everything is fine. I thought that was funny. So it keeps a modern spin. It puts a modern spin on the traditional tarot deck. So, and I've also heard if you're a little sensitive to femininity or feminist or, whatever you want to call it, I think there's pretty much all women in this deck. So, who cares? Like I said, some people just do what they feel called to do with their deck. So let's see. Let's open it up. All right. Let's look at the cards. Ooh. Oh, I love it. You are a badass being full of life, love, and possibilities. Ooh, this is so cute. Look at this. Look at the entrance. It's like, yes. Ooh, so this is crazy. So it starts off with the Nine of Wands. Look at the cards. Oh, and they're very small, at least this version that I have. Wow, so are they already? They're not already they're already mixed up. Wow, I've never ever opened up a tarot deck that was already mixed when you opened it. So I don't know if this is how, I know they do reprints, like other people can do. Oh, that's weird. Look, they have the mask on. How did they know that Corona was going to come? That's weird. So this is different because I've never seen the cards mixed up like this. Look, Two of Cups and the Seven of Cups. I kind of like that though, because now I don't have to mix them up. Wow. I mean, these cards are just really beautiful. So I almost want to say I think this is a reprint of the original, but I love the size of them. So let's get right into it. Anytime I open up a new deck, and this is what the front of the cards look like. Anytime I open up a new deck, I always smudge the deck first, which I've already done, and knock on it 3 times. And then I go about my shuffling, which is something like this when I open up a new deck. So I hope everyone is doing well. I hope that this week is going okay for you, and that you're able to at least stay afloat. I think if you can take things as a learning lesson, even when, weeks are a little weird or whatever the case may be, then that's great. Okay, so we're going to do it like that. I'm not going to shuffle too long because I've already held you up a little bit. So those of you who are a bit anxious, I'm sorry for the long intro, but I'm just so excited to be finally using this deck. Excuse my ashiness. All right, let's get into it. Overall energy for October 10th. Oh, what can we look for? I'm sorry, October 9th. Oops, there we go. What can we look forward to October 9th? I want to pull this card. I want to pull this card. Pull this card. All right, so we have the Ace of Swords in reverse, the Hierophant. And here, I'll turn them around so you can see. Oh, she's pretty. Okay, we have the Hierophant in reverse. We have the Ace of Swords in reverse. And we have the Chariot upright. All right, and she looks like a badass, like they said. All right, so, okay, the good thing about today is that the The most positive and also strong energy of the day is upright, which I think is amazing. Okay. The chariot, which is balancing our emotions, seeing ourselves within all things for the most part, is upright and balanced. So this is good. But of course, we have a couple of challenging cards here that we'll talk about. So, and the Hierophant in reverse isn't necessarily challenging, but so the Ace of Swords is in reverse. Now we had the Ace of Cups the day before, yesterday. So I thought that was really amazing. So you should have been gifted something yesterday, even if it was just a compliment or something you've been waiting on. They always say that the aces are a gift from the universe. So whenever the Ace of Swords is in reverse, yes, as we know with reverse cards, those of you who have been very stressed out all this week, or just not being able to think correctly, or maybe stumbling over your words, or just having miscommunication, then yes, for 20% of you, this can strike luck, and all of a sudden you have clear freaking clarity. All of a sudden now you're speaking better, you feel better, new ideas are coming in. But for those of you who've kind of been having a challenging week, the Ace of Swords in reverse is a time for you to re-edit and revise. Why? What have been the events that have led up to this moment of maybe stress or miscommunication? Or why within my marriage or relationships or people, the people that I deal with on the daily, why do I have to overly explain myself? Like, where are the people at who just understand what I mean when I say it the first time? And when the Ace of Swords is upright, it's great. Everybody understands. Great communication. When it's in reverse, you have to think before you speak. And by thinking before you speak, you can have still a great day. It just means that you want to observe a little bit more and be a bit more passive and receptive than masculine and aggressive and assertive and daring, because with the Ace of Swords in reverse, you might say the wrong thing or make the wrong decision, or and for those of you, like I said, a small percentage of you, it will be like who've been in this cloudy space, you gain the clarity today. Now the Hierophant is also in reverse. And when the Hierophant is in reverse, I think it just makes you want to do things a very unconventional way. And here she is doing so. She's not all wrapped up in robes like the Hierophant. She could care less about tradition. She doesn't care what the rest of the world is doing. She doesn't care what the church and society says she should be doing. She feels the need to do her because she's been through all of that. She's been through different spiritual schools. She's been through hell and back. She's been through all of the, religious points of view. And she came to the point to see that all of it has some type of purpose for her. Therefore, she created her own connection with God, or her own way of living. She's not bound to what society says she has to be. Because the Hierophant upright, you kind of want to do things by the book. You want to abide by the rules. There is someone higher than you, or at least they make it seem like that. Hierophant in reverse, you are the same human being like that Pope. You are the same human being like that pastor or like that teacher. So it's not to say you can't admire people for being in positions or attaining things that you haven't quite been able to yet, but it means that you don't have to also put yourself beneath them. You look at people as inspiration, but not as, you don't put them on a pedestal. Okay, because often we find when we put people on pedestals, they disappoint us, or they ultimately show us to not really be who we thought, they end up not really being who we thought they were. So you want to be careful of that today. Not always, right? Some people just harness so much calm about them that I admire it. And they really are like that, even when they're not around me. And I think that it's admirable. I think that it's great. But ultimately, I don't have to put myself down just because I don't quite have that yet. And so the Hierophant in reverse can be issues with those of you who are doing like homeschooling or distance learning. There could be, if those of you who, like I said, have been having issues, that 20%, you'll see it clear up today. All of a sudden, it'll just shift to where things are easier. But anytime the Hierophant is in reverse, it's a go to do things at the beat of your own drum. It's a good idea to focus on the Chariot, which is like, yeah, we might as well move these aside. There you go, home girl. There you go. She's like, who cares about rules and how it should have been and how my marriage should have worked? She's been married 6 times and she has 3 girlfriends. She does not care. She has her wand. She's no longer working at the corporate job. As you see, she's left the city and she's on her way to Arizona. Okay. She is just ready to take on the world. And notice how she's alone, besides other than her spirit guides that are with her. It's a certain confidence that you exude when you trust the process, when you trust that things don't quite look the way I want them to look, but I still hold on to faith. I still hold on to the essence that all things do work out eventually. And like my good friend Gregory says, most of the things we worry about don't happen anyway. We worry so much. I'm sure she worried when she decided to, become a stud. I'm giving her a whole little story, right? She was scared to come out of the closet. She was scared to say that she liked women. She was scared to, embrace maybe R&B and rap music, and the rest of her friends like rock. Okay, it wasn't an easy road for this woman, but because she allowed herself to unapologetically be her, she found her way. Therefore, she found true freedom. She found her real essence of spirituality. This is the card of Cancer, which is all about love and motherly love and using your intuition, even when the facts say otherwise. Even when society and your friends and your parents say one thing, you trust your intuition to say another. That takes guts. That takes shadow work. That takes facing the things in you that you deny that people say about you. If people say, Crystal, you talk too much as I might not want to believe that I talk too much, if 3 close people or 3 people who observe me on a regular say something, whether I don't want, even if I don't want it to be true or not, it probably is. It's easy to judge other people, but how often do we look at ourselves? It's easy to say, oh, you do that all the time. You have a habit of this, but what habits do you have? Right? We have to ask ourselves that and accept that. I talk a lot. Dark Spanx. I talk a lot, and it's because when I was a child, I was silenced. And I know that. And now that I understand that, I'm talking and running my mouth. But by talking and running and facing that darkness in me that I once held back because I was scared that people wouldn't think I had any any value. My words weren't valued. I didn't feel like if I spoke, people would even care. Now that I face that, now she's a speaker. She travels to different countries and cities and talks to women about maybe women empowerment. Therefore, transmuting what seemed like a bad or dark situation into something amazing. Okay. And the Hierophant, and I kind of threw the Ace of Swords and the Hierophant away, but they don't go away. Because the Hierophant is actually cheering you on because it's saying, hey, forget about what society says today. Forget about the normal ways of, routine, and try to do things a little bit different. Trust spirit, go with the flow, show love over judgment, pick intuition and going with the flow over, what am I trying to, structure or the rules. Now, hey, don't you decide to go on a full, Moscato or Chardonnay binge and blame me, okay? I'm not saying call off work and just, drink your life away with the Ace of Swords in reverse. All I'm saying is that just trust the process. Go with the flow. Have a more receptive approach and honor all parts of you, even if they are weird and different, because what you deem to be, not important or just something you're just good at, someone else admires that in you. So treat yourself well today. Hope that you all have a great one, and I'll talk to you later.